Good morning, everybody. It is probably like 8:30-ish right now. I actually am not sure. I haven't checked the time or anything, but I've been up for a while this morning, just laying around. I actually did like try to go back to sleep, but that didn't work out. So here I am. I took my medication. I have 2 days until this needs to be refilled. I wait till the daytime is completely empty so I don't have to take them like in a weird order. You guys know my birth control has to be in order, so I'd prefer to just like wait until this is empty to refill it. But I will do the nighttime today as far as refilling because that one obviously does not need to be in order. So yeah, I did the medication for the day, and then I also took my blood pressure. You guys are aware that I've been taking it every morning. My heart doctors want me to take it every morning as it is, but I'm a slacker, so I've been trying to be better about that. So I took it this morning. My blood pressure was fine, but I almost had a shit fit because the reading on the blood pressure cuff, it had like the IHB, like the irregular heartbeat logo on it, and this cuff will read out to you that you have an irregular heartbeat, and it said my pulse was 149 beats per minute. I almost had a goddamn shit fit. So immediately I got on my watch. By the way, I'm using my watch again to track my heart rate. Got on my watch and checked it. It was only 73, which, rest assured, I'm not going to have a heart attack again. Sorry, that's dark humor. I apologize. But yeah, it was decent today. Pulse was 73. Again, you guys know that it's been either 73 or 77 for 6 days now. My blood pressure was 111/76. So speaking of blood pressure, that was this morning's reading. But I've also been, starting last night, taking my blood pressure in the evening as well. So obviously I include the date, the blood pressure reading, and my pulse like normal, but I'm also putting the time as well for the evening readings. So for example, yesterday it was 7:17 p.m. My blood pressure was 117/76, and my pulse was 91. It was a little bit high because I was doing stuff. I was being active, whatever. I had taken a shower, a warm bath, so the heat is obviously a trigger for a high heart rate for me. So yeah. And then I also decided I'm going to include activities. So I wrote down like general activities I was doing before the reading, so my doctors can get a better look at how my blood pressure is like fluctuating from the morning as opposed to the evening. So I did that. By the way, this is random, but yesterday's vlog I mentioned how I couldn't find a pen when I was trying to journal, and I told you guys Beebs was a pen hoarder, and I was convinced that he stole my pen that I was using. I was right. He had it in his fucking notebook. I called him out for it, and then I did do what I told you guys I was going to do, and I thiefed one of the good pens out of the Corolla because I knew he was hoarding them in there as well. So I have a pen, Beebs has a pen, and we're probably going to get a pack of like 10 plus pens. So we never run out of pens in this household. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's what I've been up to this morning. I will mention a couple of things. So my tattoo, you guys saw in yesterday's vlog. When you guys saw it, it had second skin on it, but after, like a while after I had ended that vlog, I was making fuck ass TikTok dances, and I was sweating my ass off, and the second skin started peeling up, so I just took it all the way off. I obviously splashed it with water and patted it dry just to get rid of like the blood and the extra ink and whatever off of my skin. Obviously it did stain my skin, but I'm not gonna like scrub it because that's obviously not smart. If you got a tattoo, you probably know that. But yeah, so speaking of the tattoo, I needed Aquaphor. I swore to God that we had some here. Beebs and I have bought Aquaphor like twice now. But I looked like in my train case, he looked in the bathroom, like above the fridge where all the medication is. Couldn't find any. And I didn't want to use it if like the cap was broken off. And the only reason I said that is because like I knew we had one that had no cap, and I was like, that's probably a fucking germ cesspool, and I'm not using it on a fresh tattoo. Absolutely no. No way. So uh, I was pretty insistent on getting a new one if we had one without a cap. So we ended up going to Walmart because we couldn't find any. It's the same thing we always get. The packaging is a little bit different, but yeah, we were gonna get the like foam tip, like the no touch that you just kind of apply. Um, I figured that would be like less germy for my fresh tattoo sake, but I also kind of thought about it and I was like, well, we'll use this one more, like even after tattoos for like general needs. Like, for example, I can use it on my lips, on my face, whatever. So, yeah, we figured we would use this one more. So, we got that guy. It'll last us forever if we don't fucking lose it or use it all in a record breaking time. So, anyway. And then aside from that, I needed face wash and leave-in conditioner for these extensions. Um, the ends are very, very dry, and I wanted to work on that a little bit. I don't like to use a ton of my conditioner because I use herbal essences, and it was like $18 for the pack of the big shampoo and conditioner that I use. That's expensive. So I'd rather like save my conditioner and use it sparingly so I don't have to buy an $18 set of shampoo and conditioner every 3 weeks. Anyways, so yeah, I needed leave-in conditioner. I'm not familiar on leave-in conditioners. Like, I've never really used them. I used them a little bit when I was in beauty school, but that was like a lifetime ago. My sister uses one from Amika, I believe, and I've used hers once or twice, but like I said, I've never had one for myself. So I went with the same brand as my shampoo and conditioner, the herbal essences. It's called Pure Plants. It's aloe and something else. Um, Repairing leave-in conditioner. It comes with a pump. I love the packaging. Obviously, I will reuse this bottle for other things when I finish it. I'm not sure what yet. I like to repurpose. Anyway, damage repair, locks in moisture, reduces frizz, detangles, and defines. And I read up, and you can apply it on damp or dry hair. So, and then you would just style like normal. So I used a couple pumps of this last night from like where my natural hair ends all the way down to the ends of my extensions. Made it super soft. I love this so far. And then last but not least, I got face wash. Got the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Cleansing Water. I know this is everywhere as of the last few years. This is the one with rose water and glycerin. It says all-in-one hydrating, cleanses, removes makeup, and hydrates. No rinse, no rubbing, no residue, face, lips, eyes, for all skin types. So I've used this before, micellar water in general before, at my sister's, like if I'm there and I have makeup that I want to take off. I've never actually had it for myself though. So got some of this. I did wash my face with it this morning. I'm loving it so far. I had to use like a clean washcloth to do it this morning because I don't have cotton rounds. So hopefully that will be something that I can get in the next few weeks. But anyway, after all my ranting and raving, here is a closer look at the leave-in conditioner. I believe this was like 11 something dollars, but you get a lot of products, so I wasn't too mad at that price. I was kind of skeptical. And then this was $3 more for like a lot more product, and Beebs and I figured that this would be more worth it. So this is the value size, obviously, and it'll last me forever. You don't need very much of this like per use. So I woke up this morning. Obviously I wear hardly anything to sleep. I hate sleeping with clothes on. But since I am vlogging for you guys, I'm obviously clothed now. I just put on this cute little Dr. Pepper crop top. I found this at Ross. And then a pair of my mom's like super flowy sweatpants. This morning I got yet another love note from Beebs. So I'm just gonna add that to my collection. I also am gonna head into the reptile room. I haven't turned the lights on this morning. I've been really good about turning them off at night. I've slipped up a few times, obviously, but I've been better. So I'm gonna turn these on and do my misting. Obviously, you guys have seen the morning reptile check-in before. We're just gonna turn all these lights on. I think Grogu is out. Room update. I have done an amazing job at keeping it clean, so very proud of myself. The only reason that pillowcase is off of the pillow is because I made the bed yesterday and I was like being a little OCD about how my pillows were sitting. My main pillow, the one with the Mickey Mouse pillowcase you guys have seen, is very floppy. I've had it forever. And like I said, I was being anal about the way it sat. So I tried to trade the pillow I have for that one, but I laid on it for like 2 seconds, hated it. So I took my floppy ass pillow back. All right, you guys are leaned up against Ghosty Boy's lamp. I'm not too worried about it right now because I just turned it on and it hasn't had hardly any chance to get hot. So yeah, I refilled my RepToSafe spray bottle yesterday, and I'm just gonna mist Ghosty Boy, and then I'll obviously do Grogu. So I think I told you guys yesterday that if he is like pancaked on the glass, I never open this door. Usually I'll mist through the netting right here. And I'll move his light when I do that, but since he is tucked away in his log, I don't really see a problem with opening it. So I had to move all of my bullshit cords out of the way. But Mr. Grogu is hiding out in here this morning. I told you guys before that he's usually always in there. That's usually where I find him when I come in here in the morning. I actually forgot to lock this last night, so I'm gonna do that. And as far as feeding goes, Ghost is good on crickets. I do need to make Grogu some fresh food, refill his water, and Noodle needs to be fed today, and his water needs refilled as well. So I have a couple more reptile chores than normal to do today. I do need to set up my Govey outlet. Noodle's side used to be on a timer, but I don't have the app yet on this phone, so I do want to set it up. I would probably just plug Noodle's plug into the wall and then put Ghosty and Grogu on a timer. But maybe Noodle and Ghost will be the ones on a timer because that outlet is full. So we will see what happens there. You guys know I've been using the old RepToSafe bottle for refilling the water dishes. So I'm almost out of water in here, so I need to refill this as well today. So I am gonna leave the lights on for a while before I feed anybody, just because it is kind of early. But as you can see, Noodle Man is out of water, so we're gonna get this man hydrated. Okay, that is done. This makes refilling water so easy. I'm not gonna put this back. I'm gonna take it out with me and refill it. I would just do it the lazy way and use my spray bottle to refill it, but that just takes water out of that and makes that run out faster. So I'll be not lazy and take this out to the sink and refill it. But I am going to be practical and add the RepToSafe in there. It's going to look like a lot, but you have to keep in mind that I'm going to fill the rest of it up with water. So it will change the color of what's left in here, but that won't be the case when I fill it up with water the rest of the way. So take this out to the sink and I'll be back. All right, this is refilled. It doesn't matter. I've mentioned with the spray bottle that the temperature of the water doesn't matter. It's the same with this. So any temperature, fill it up. Like you can see, as I mentioned, it doesn't affect the color of the water anymore because there's so much water compared to the tiny amount of Reptisave that's actually in here. So yeah, love that. And then, like I said, I have to feed Noodle and Grogu, but I will do that later, hopefully. And I try to open the window in here during the day. I will come back in a few minutes because the sun's not even out at this point. It's very, very cloudy and like overcast. So I will come in here in a minute and check the temperature of the room in general. And if it's too cold because of the open window, I will obviously shut it. I just don't want these three getting too cold. So we are done in the reptile room and we will come back in and feed these critters a little bit later. And I always shut the door like I've mentioned before. So when I let the dogs out, they don't go in there and traumatize the reptiles. So there is another thing that I wanted to mention. We are back in the bedroom. I've been doing my research as far as like my heart conditions and things that I need to educate myself on. Because if I'm honest, I'm kind of unfamiliar with some things when it comes to my heart. Like certain terms and certain conditions that I have, I'm very unfamiliar with, and I probably should have educated myself a lot sooner, but here I am. So last night, I obviously have a journal entry, so I'm not going to show you that, but all of this tiny writing right here is research that I did on heart disease and the conditions that I have. So the first one obviously is my rhythm disorder, which is long QT syndrome. We all know what that is. It's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, long QT. So there's something on an EKG called a QT interval, which is the space between beats. So long QT syndrome is basically a disorder where your heart takes too long to like recharge in between beats. So it'll beat and then it'll wait longer than normal and then it'll beat again, if that makes sense. And then I obviously wrote down the triggers and the symptoms, which I'm pretty familiar with. And then I have a genetic disease called dilated cardiomyopathy. I found that out through genetic testing. And I just wrote down the definition. It is a disease of the heart muscle where the ventricles enlarge, stretch, and weaken, impairing the heart's ability to pump blood effectively. So it's basically a heart muscle problem, disease. That'll obviously weaken my heart over time. So that's what that is. And then I wrote down the treatment options and the symptoms for that as well. And I wrote down that it is the leading cause for a heart transplant, which I did not know. And then I was reading about quality of life for DCM, which is dilated cardiomyopathy. And it said many manage condition well and maintain a reasonable quality of life. So that's reassuring. And then a term that is always used like in heart talk is ejection fraction. And I wasn't really sure what that meant. I feel like kind of a dumb fuck now that I looked it up. But it's basically like, I'll read it to you. Obviously ejection fraction is pretty self-explanatory. I guess I just wasn't using my brain. It is the percentage of blood pumped out of the heart's main pumping chamber, which is the left ventricle, with each beat. The normal ejection fraction range is 50 to 70%. Reduced is 41, or mildly reduced is 41 to 49. That's the range I'm at, so that indicates like earlier damage usually. And then low EF is like below 40. So yeah, I'm basically in mildly reduced ejection fraction stage, if that's the right way to say it. It says a normal EF doesn't always rule out heart failure. Yeah, I wrote down measurement tools for this one, symptoms of a low ejection fraction, and all of that stuff. So, like, I didn't know all of the measurement options for ejection fraction, but obviously echoes, cardiac MRIs, and or CT scans. So yeah, that's that. And then I also did a little bit of research about blood pressure. So I will show you my notes. That's what it looks like, all of this tiny writing. So obviously I knew that the top number is systolic and the bottom number is diastolic, but I wasn't really sure what those terms meant. So systolic is, if you're like familiar with this, you already know, so you can skip this part. Systolic is pressure of blood when pumped out of the heart. So that's what that means. I was not aware of that. Like I said, most of you probably know this. This is just new knowledge to me. And then diastolic is between beats when the heart is filling with blood. So yeah. And then I wrote down, obviously, like a normal blood pressure is 120/80 mmHg. I didn't know what mmHg meant, so turns out the term for that is millimeters of mercury. I didn't know that. And then a usual hypertension is 130/80 mmHg. So that's just a little bit of knowledge, new knowledge to me at least, about blood pressure and all the other conditions that I struggle with. It's obviously nice for me, and I feel like anybody, to research stuff that they're going through, whether that's a health condition or not anything. It's good to educate yourself. So I took it upon myself while Beeps was doing some of his coding to do my own research, and now I know a little bit more about everything. So that was nice, and I'm proud of myself for taking it upon myself to do that. And then while we're in my journal and we actually have it open, yesterday's entry went from right there to right there. So I definitely journaled a ton recently, and it helped me stay in a good mood, so I don't regret it. If you're struggling with anything, any thoughts, any emotions, I recommend journaling. I've journaled forever, so it really helps. So along with journaling, I pulled out this sticky notepad that my sister gave me forever ago, and it says, "Today I am grateful for." I'm going to start using this every single day to write down what I'm grateful for, and like maybe make a collage on the wall of all the things that I come up each day that I'm grateful for. So I'm going to fill this out today, think of something that is important and something to be thankful for today. So we're going to think of that, and I will let you guys know. So today and every day I have this to be thankful for. I wrote my team of doctors / nurses, and then I put cardiology, EP, and primary care. EP is the electrophysiology doctor that's over my ICD. And then obviously modern medicine and medical technology. I would not be here without it. I would not be here without either of these things. So thankful for that today. Maybe that will be a new thing that I do every morning to help me remember to be grateful every day. Because even though I tell you guys to do it, I struggle with it sometimes as well. I feel like everybody does at some point. So I took the sticky note off of the notepad, and I'm just gonna stick it here so I can always remember to be thankful for that. I have decided I am gonna write the date, so we're gonna do that as well. And today is February 12th, 2026. Love that for me. I also have a reminder up here for blood pressure. So yeah, now I'm gonna put this away until tomorrow so I remember to write down something new to be thankful for tomorrow. Don't clock me, but you guys are literally balanced on a fountain drink from Maverick that I got last night. don't worry, I will take care of that at some point today. But I'm sitting in front of my Aquaphor, so I'm gonna aid to my tattoo, and then I will show you what it's looking like today. I told you guys I would give you tattoo updates. I try with putting Aquaphor on my tattoos to not go like back and forth. Obviously, I don't want to lift the ink at all. That's what happened with this one in my mom's handwriting. I have to have my sister touch it up at some point, but yeah, I'm trying not to let that happen to this one. I literally have no shame in using a shitload of Aquaphor to cover every inch of my new ink. So I will give you guys an update. No flash this time because it is daylight and I have wonderful lighting. This is what it's looking like. It's not nearly as red as it was. Last night in the shower, I obviously just washed around it. Like I said, I try not to go like this at all, especially with a loofah. That would be a bad idea. So I washed around it, and obviously the soap running down my leg in the hot water got rid of like the outline and the staining where the second skin was, and obviously all the staining around the lettering as well. So yeah, that's a tattoo update. I also have a blueberry muffin that I've been eating this morning. So I have mentioned recently that I am in desperate need of getting my toes done. So I mentioned it to my sister yesterday, and I didn't ask her if she could do them. I just asked her if she had polish that I could use to do my own toes. And she let me know that she has gel polish and a curing lamp that I can have. So I'm probably gonna go over to her place at some point today and pick that up so I can do these toes. I've had this like green D&D polish. It's called Salsa Verde that my sister let me use. I've had it on my toes for several months now. Like, I'm not even joking. So my dogs are in desperate need of some help. So I am gonna put these blinds all the way up. I like to get as much natural light during the day as I can. I wouldn't go as far as to say sunlight because the sun hasn't even really been up in about a week and a half. So I apologize for the shitty lighting. I haven't opened the blinds out here yet today, but I realized when I was watching yesterday's vlog before I uploaded it, I never actually showed you what the peppermint capsule bottle looks like that Nicole gave me. So this is what they look like. Intestinal comfort, dietary supplement, purified peppermint oil, may support abdominal comfort for occasional cramping, diarrhea, bloating, bowel urgency, constipation, and gas. So I just thought I would mention that since I didn't yesterday. And I will give you a closer look at the bottle and the, I guess, nutrition facts, the warning. So yeah, and they don't expire until 2027. So yeah, love those. The puppies and their glowing eyes definitely want to go out. So I'm probably going to take this one out. I'm not planning on going back to sleep considering I've already tried and it didn't work. So might as well let them out. I momentarily thought I stopped the video and I was about to be so fucking mad. So before we let these mutlers out, I'm going to open these blinds. I usually prefer to open the blinds as opposed to turning the lights on. Obviously, I feel like anybody prefers that, so they're not paying for a large electricity bill. So yeah, and it is fucking cold outside today, so I'm not going to open the door. I might for like a minute if the dogs want to go outside, but I'm not gonna leave it open like I do most days. So I've been having like teeth pain in my back molars back here, especially on the top. I think it's because I've noticed I have a tendency to clench my jaw, and I'm like, bitch, relax. So I think that's where the pain is coming from. So I'm gonna take some of the 8-hour arthritis pain relief. This is the same stuff, the big white pill that I showed you yesterday that I keep in my pill container I have in my purse. So I'm gonna take a dose of that. Yesterday it was this side, and today it's like my upper molars on this side. Very shitty. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. So I'm literally the only one in this abode, this humble abode, that takes Tylenol. So I'm actually gonna keep this in my drawer with the rest of my lovely medications and pills and shit. Beebs prefers like ibuprofen or Advil, so obviously I can't take that. So he can have the Advil and ibuprofen, and I will take the Tylenol, specifically this one. So yeah, I think now it is about time we let the mutlers out, like I've said. So I'm gonna pause what I'm doing in here. I'm gonna move this because I know Indy's ass will try to get it. All right, I gathered up all my bullshit to take my brush and my face wash and leave-in conditioner to the bathroom. And then obviously I'm gonna put the blueberry muffin in the kitchen for later. These are huge and I literally never finish them in one sitting. I'm gonna put it in the microwave. So like I said, Indy and her little bandit ass won't thief it, because I know that bitch will try it. So we're gonna do that. These are what the muffins look like. I was irresponsible and left them open earlier when I grabbed that other one, but we get them from Sam's Club. I believe I've said that before. And the containers are literally giant eyesores, so I keep them in the snack cupboard. I need to close the bread, that's the problem. And then I organized this the other day as well. We are just going to seal the bread real quick. I'm assuming it came open when I grabbed the muffins, because I swear to God, yesterday when I made toast, I wrapped it up, but I guess not tight enough. Okay, let's let these puppies out. I'm not taking you guys with me because Indy's a pain in the ass, but be free. I have to make sure Ruby doesn't jump up on me because of my tattoo. And Ruby, stay down. Stay down. No. Go. She literally does not get it. She will jump every time, no matter how much you tell her no. Okay, Shitler, let's go outside. Come on. Okay, she is ready to go, and we're gonna go outside real quick. I'm probably gonna grab a jacket. Ruby's fine. Beebs will take her out when he gets home, but this one definitely needs to go out. Jacket acquired. It matches my shirt perfectly. I did not plan that. But we're gonna take this muttler outside. I never take my keys. It's just more hassle. I have the code to the door, so I don't see the point. I'll be back. Okay, she has something to say, but she's been outside. I do this thing when I get to the top of the stairs on our floor. I will let her off the leash and let her run down the hallway. She loves it. But I always make sure she stops at our door and doesn't run amok. And I've also taught her the command wait. So I'll tell her to wait at the top of each staircase, going down and coming back up, so she's not dragging me. My stomach actually does kind of hurt, so I am gonna take a peppermint capsule. This is part of my daily routine lately since starting Wolverine. And then I'm also going to brush my teeth. I've been trying to do it morning and night. I obviously slack like every other person would, but I'm going to get some water. I haven't drinking any water today, so water required. It's not, the pain isn't too bad in my lower tummy today, so I'm just going to take one of these. I have taken two before, but I obviously only do that when the pain is bad enough. Obviously try to put these back. I also need to hang up Indy's leash, so we're going to do that as well. And I have to put the lone spoon that's in the sink in the dishwasher. I loaded it last night while Beebs was taking the dog out, and I obviously unloaded what you guys saw me load in yesterday's vlog. And I'm a lazy person, so I shut it with my foot. I'm trying to teach this girl to not jump up on me, but she doesn't get it. Sit. Stay. Good girl. I kind of want to make one of my mom's recipes for dinner tonight, so maybe I'll mention it to Beebs, but I am going to go through her recipe box. This is one of the first things I took when she passed. As you can see, it's chocked full of recipes, and like in the ends, like in the back of it, she put like important info, like our old password to download apps, old email address, just like important info. Obviously, I'm not going to show you because it has my family's information on it, but yeah, I'm going to dig through this and see what I can find. So I ended up finding this one. I miss my mom so much. Even her handwriting makes me kind of sad, but it's called Frito Delight. You don't need very much for it. So yeah, we probably have most of the ingredients already, aside from beef, oregano, tomato sauce. That's pretty much it. So we'd only need 3 things. So this sounds really good. Maybe I'll mention it to Beebs. I totally walked away to go to the bathroom and left you guys in the cupboard and literally did one of these and walked away. So if that doesn't say something about my memory, I don't know what will. So I am going to send Beebs a picture of this recipe and ask him if he wants to make it for dinner tonight. All it is ground beef, diced onion, rice, sugar, garlic powder, tomato sauce, water, salt, chili powder, oregano, ground cumin, seed, ground beef, and then obviously add everything together and simmer for about 10 minutes. Serve over Fritos, lettuce, tomato, olives, cheese, and sour cream. So it's basically like a taco salad type of situation, but my mom titled it Frito Delight. And unfortunately, I don't know what recipes came from her noggin and what ones she pulled off the internet. And I obviously can't call and ask her, which is very sad, but I'm glad that I have a bunch of recipe cards with her handwriting on it. This one's being good. And she's over there being Indy. I have some picking up to do in the bedroom, and I've also been trying to make it a habit to make the bed. I have literally dirty underwear on the floor. I have 2 pairs of shoes that I need to put away. If you guys haven't seen, Beebs got me these adorable Hello Kitty Crocs. They are Crocs brand. So fucking cute. I wore these last night, and then he had a Dutch Bros Croc charm. They give those away apparently. They actually gave me a sticker for Mother's Day as well. Anyway, I wore these, just hit myself in the face. I wore these last night and I love them. I also put a tongue ring in. You guys know Beebs got me these for Christmas. So, step number 1. I'm probably going to get rid of the jacket because I don't want to sweat my ass off. Indy, don't lick the sheets. Don't you do it. I sweat easily, and with a heart condition, I'm kind of like afraid of sweating, if you can even say that, because it's a trigger for fast and irregular heartbeats, especially for someone with a heart condition. I believe in general it affects people when it comes to heart rate, but for me, more than the normal person. So I'm gonna pick up my shit, put everything away, and make the bed. Indy is a very good girl. Ruby is a very good girl too. I'm starting with my dirty underwear and putting them in the washer. And I am gonna start a load of wash. And these two follow me around fucking everywhere. We have a laundry basket in the bathroom I showed you guys that is getting pretty full. Yesterday evening I went to get in the bath and I stepped off of the rug or off of the bath mat into the bathtub, and then I stepped out to grab something. I don't remember what I was grabbing. And I noticed that Indy's hair was clumped up in the water, and I was like, that's fucking disgusting. So I threw the bath mat in the hamper to wash. So we're gonna do that this morning. As you can see, it's getting decently full. I told Beebs that this is a rule in our house. We don't need 3 baskets full of clean or dirty laundry ever. That's excessive, that's lazy. So I told him this is to be used for dirty laundry that comes out of the bathroom, and then everything else goes in the dirty and clean small ones that you guys have seen in there. So I'm gonna take this big bitch and start a little laundry. I might want to turn the light on. That would probably help. So you guys are literally balanced on a bottle of Febreze. So I need a tripod, but I am almost out of my fabric softener. My grandpa got us a huge basket of like practical adult stuff to use around like household items, which we always need. And this was in it, and I've been obsessed with it. So not very much left. So I'm gonna put this on the grocery list for Beebs and I to pick up next time. Anywho, let's throw all of this bow schniz into the washer. I'm gonna try to put the bath mat on top. Look how filthy this bastard is. It's disgusting. Wet bath towel, but I don't want it to start stinking. So I'm just gonna throw everything in. I'm so proud of myself for keeping up on laundry. I'll obviously put that basket back in the bathroom. And then we have the dirty basket in here as well. So I'm also going to put that stuff in there. So it's literally just like our 2 old pillowcases that we're going to wash and put away in the linen closet. And then a shirt of mine and 2 bottoms that I wore over the last few days or so. So we pretty much have a good half a load. So I'm going to stack the baskets, slide them out of the way, put that one in the bathroom, and start this bitch. I always put it on precise fill, medium, cool, deep rinse, start. Oh fuck, I forgot laundry detergent. What is wrong with me? I literally did that without even a second thought of, I forgot the soap. It's not gonna wash if we don't do that, so we're gonna just act like that didn't happen and go ahead and put the soap in. I'm filling it up to the 4 level because the dirty ass bath mat is in there. And I washed the caps. I believe I've mentioned that before, just so they're not all sticky. I'm gonna add just a little bit of fabric softener. I'm gonna make it last until next time we go to the grocery store. So now we can start it. And this time, since I remembered the most essential part, it will actually clean the shit that's in there. Put my tripod away. Productive. I love that for me. But I'm also exhausted already. I'm just a girl. That fucking Tylenol literally works wonders. Love this. And I also love Tylenol PM. Saved my fucking life. That shit's been knocking me out recently. If you know anything about me, you should know that I have trouble sleeping all the time. I'm an insomniac from hell. So Tylenol PM and this shit, all I need to keep myself satisfied. So I'm actually gonna throw that in the drawer. I also have Chick-fil-A fries that I finished last night that I need to put in the trash. I hate this. I hate when she chews her bone on the bed, but she doesn't listen, so I guess I have to fucking deal with it. Anyway, to the garbage. By the way, even though it looks gross because it sat overnight, Chick-fil-A is the best sauce ever. And if you think otherwise, next time I see you, it's on site. I never actually finished drinking the water. I'm horrible at that. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it this morning. A little bit later in the morning than I filmed yesterday. Got some stuff done, mentioned some new things, started a new habit, 2 new habits actually, and yeah, productive morning. I love chit-chatting with you guys. I've been uploading shorts recently. I posted a short of my TikTok handle, so if you want to see all of my malarkey, then go check out my TikTok. But for now, I'm going to try to get some stuff done. I have to vacuum, still have to put my shoes away, and one of Beeb's shirts that I wore last night is on the floor. So I'm going to do all of that bullshit and then make the bed and probably just hang out for the rest of the day. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. The reflection is bothering me. Hope you enjoyed this video and hanging out with me. I'm sorry I upload so many vlogs. I just love chit-chatting and filming random shit. So yeah, like I always say, don't forget to always express what you're thankful for. Don't be a slacker like I am. I shouldn't say it if I'm not doing it. Do what you preach, I guess. Anyway, always express what you're thankful for. Drink your water. Take your meds. And if your posture's bad like mine is right now, fix it. And until next time, I will see you later. Bye.